Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my brilliant Sussex squadron. Gather your teacups, lean in close, and allow me to take you on a journey into the gilded but cracking walls of the British monarchy. Today's tale is not just another retelling of palace whispers or tabloid manipulations. It is the sound of shifting winds, a reversal of fortunes, and a reckoning that many believed would never come. For years, the British press served as the sword and shield of Prince William, painting him as the dutiful heir while casting Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex as villains of the royal story. But now, the ground beneath Kensington Palace trembles, as the very press that once crowned William with golden headlines begins to sharpen its knives against him. And at the centre of this storm, like a flame refusing to be extinguished, stands Meghan Sussex. Chapter 1. The Cracks in the Crown. For years, the script was painfully predictable. William was painted as the steadfast future king, Kate the graceful queen-in-waiting, and together they were the embodiment of a monarchy that could do no wrong. Meanwhile, Meghan Sussex was vilified, her every gesture twisted into malice, her every word spun into scandal. Harry too was cast adrift, framed as the wayward prince led astray by love. The British tabloids thrived on this narrative, feeding it daily to the public like a bitter meal they insisted was sweet. But a crown can only glitter for so long before the weight of truth begins to tarnish it. The press, once united in their mission to elevate William, has begun to shift its gaze, and this shift is not born of kindness or conscience, it is born of necessity. William no longer has access to the wellspring of stories he once drew from, Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex. Without them, the narrative is hollow, the palace leaks reduced to whispers too faint to sell headlines. Chapter 2. The incident reawakened, and so, like vultures circling, the media has returned to stories they once buried, stories that cast William not as the dutiful heir, but as a man consumed by anger, privilege, and a need for control. One such story has recently resurfaced, first detailed in Harry's memoir Spare, but largely ignored by the mainstream press until now. The confrontation, the finger-pointing, the heated moment when Meghan Sussex, standing tall in the face of hostility, turned to William and said words that now echo louder than ever, "Take your finger out of my face." This was not the meek Duchess of tabloid caricature, but the real Meghan Sussex, unyielding, principled, unwilling to be silenced. At the time, the press dismissed it. They told the public Meghan was difficult, Meghan was disrespectful, Meghan was the problem. But now the media is dusting off this moment and presenting it with a startling new lens. William as the aggressor, Meghan Sussex as the woman who dared to stand up to him. Chapter 3. The shift in tone. The trigger was subtle but seismic. LBC, a mainstream UK platform, revisited this incident and published it in a way that stunned royal watchers. The headline did not condemn Meghan Sussex. Instead, it placed the spotlight squarely on William. For the first time, the heir was framed as the bully, the man who crossed a line, the royal who was not the polished saint the palace wanted him to be. But it wasn't just the reporting that shocked observers. It was the comments. Underneath the article, in the sea of public reactions, came an unexpected chorus support for Meghan Sussex. Voices that once would have been drowned out by vitriol now rose in defense of her. Readers applauded her for standing firm, for refusing to bow to William's temper, for exposing the double standard that has long governed the monarchy. The press can manipulate headlines, but the people? They are beginning to see through the cracks. For years, the press shielded William. They buried stories, suppressed scandals, and crafted an image of the Golden Prince. But protection comes at a cost, and William has not paid his dues. Unlike his brother, he has not shouldered the weight of criticism, the bruises of media fire, the storm of accountability. And now, when the palace needs him to rise as the steady, hard-working heir, his reluctance and, perceived laziness are impossible to ignore. The press, once his greatest ally, now sees him as a liability. Without Harry and Meghan Sussex to sacrifice at the altar of public outrage, William's flaws are laid bare. His temper, his absence from engagements, his inability or unwillingness to step fully into the role expected of him. The golden armor has begun to rust. Through it all, Meghan Sussex remains central. Not because she sought the spotlight, indeed she and Harry left precisely to escape its glare, but because the narrative, really, cannot escape her strength. For years she was told to be quiet, to bow, to bend. Yet she has emerged not broken but radiant. The incident with William is now being reframed not as a scandal but as a testament to her courage. In a family where silence is currency and submission is tradition, Meghan Sussex dared to stand up for herself. She dared to confront the heir to the throne and demand respect. That act alone has become a symbol, a rallying point for those who see the monarchy not as untouchable but as flawed, human, and accountable. Let us be clear. The media shift is not an act of redemption. They are not suddenly allies of Meghan Sussex, nor have they developed a conscience overnight. This is a game of survival, plain and simple. With William unwilling to give them the leaks and drama they crave, they are forced to cannibalize the very man they once protected, and in doing so, they reveal themselves. The press does not serve truth nor loyalty, it serves only its hunger. Today William is the target, tomorrow it could be anyone else. But honestly, the irony is rich. The same machinery that once crushed Harry and Meghan Sussex is now turning on the heir himself. Perhaps the most striking change is not in the headlines, but in the public reaction. People who once dismissed Meghan Sussex are now, well, reconsidering. They are revisiting old stories with new eyes, asking themselves, what if we were wrong? What if she was telling the truth all along? The comments on LBC's article were not an anomaly. They were a bellwether, a sign that the public's patience with William is waning, that the sympathy once reserved for him has dried up. And as for Meghan Sussex, the tide is shifting. Slowly, subtly, but unmistakably, her voice is being vindicated. What does this mean for the monarchy? A house built on image cannot withstand cracks in its foundation. The press turning on William is not just a personal blow, it is a threat to the institution itself. For if the heir can be portrayed as a bully, if the golden narrative can unravel, then what remains of the fairy tale the palace has sold for decades? And what of Meghan Sussex and Harry? They no longer need to defend themselves. The press is doing it for them, albeit unintentionally. The couple's choice to step away, to protect their family, to build a life beyond palace walls, now appears not reckless but wise. History is vindicating them in real time. And so, my brilliant Sussex squadron, we stand at a turning point. The media that once crowned William has begun to expose him. The public that once condemned Meghan Sussex is beginning to applaud her. The palace that once silenced Harry now finds itself silenced by his absence. This is more than gossip. It is the unraveling of a carefully woven illusion. The press needs a villain and a hero, but the roles are no longer easy to cast. Meghan Sussex, once the target of endless cruelty, now shines as the woman who dared to say, "Take your finger out of my face." A simple sentence, but one that carries the weight of defiance, dignity, and truth. William may still be the heir, but the crown's shine is dimming. And Meghan Sussex? She is the flame that refuses to be extinguished, the reminder that courage speaks louder than silence, and the living proof that no amount of lies can bury the truth forever. So let us raise our cups to the changing winds, my Sussex squadron. For history is being rewritten before our very eyes, and at the centre of it all stands Meghan Sussex, unbroken, unbending, and unforgettable.